Alright guys, this is it. Now I could level you up like a normal person and then challenge that kid with clear signs of depression. But who needs leveling up when your voice is that terrible? Let's take him down.
This is
Kanto! Hello YouTube and welcome to my new challenge. Ever seen a Pokemon game defeated with only level 1 Pokemon? Okay. Ever seen a Pokemon game defeated with level 1 Pokemon using only Purr Song? Aha! The rules are the following. Only level 1 Pokemon, no in-battle items, and I can only take down my opponents with Purr Song. And as always, I'll be naming my Pokemon after you guys, randomly selected from previous comments. So let's get this challenge started. I delivered the egg, learned how to throw like a girl, lose to the rival, all good stuff, before heading to the first gym. Faulkner is... I don't know why he's in the game, to be honest. Ever heard of someone losing a challenge to Faulkner? Exactly. So I decided to explain my strategy on the second gym. Hello? Because who else is better to show my strategy on than Bugsy? Alright, first thing I need to do is raise my evasion with Mime Jr. I call that the setup phase. I usually start with Quick Claw in order to go first and put the opponent to sleep, but Bugsy's Scyther knows Quick Attack, which is a priority move, and Quick Claw will not help me outspeed it. Unless of course I'm going for a high priority move myself, which I'm not. So instead, I give Mime Jr. Bright Powder. This will allow me to lower the enemy's accuracy by 10%, so even a 100% accurate move has a chance of missing. I reset until he finally misses, and then put him to sleep. Next, I get my substitute up and raise my evasion with Double Team. In Generation 3 and 4, sleep lasts for up to 5 turns. I still try to use Hypnosis after the 3rd turn, even if the opponent is still asleep, just to play it safe. Keep in mind that when they wake up, they can already miss their attack and fail to break my sub. But again, I'm playing it safe since Hypnosis has a big chance of missing, and I might have to get them on a second try. Once this Mr. Mime Jr. is done, I baton pass to a second Mime Jr. This one has the move Skill Swap, which is a move that switches both Pokemon's abilities. I don't need his ability, I actually need mine. So if you can hold that for me. Why do I do that? Because next is my Misdreavus, it also has Skill Swap, and now I have a Pokemon with the ability Soundproof that knows Purr Song. See this? Let me break down what happens while Bugsy is getting Miley Cyrus to death. One of Mime Jr.'s abilities is Soundproof. This ability protects the user from all sound-based moves, which Purr Song is one of them. Up until Gen 5, this also included moves generated by the user, so basically I'm protected against my own terrible voice. Now I don't have to switch after Purr Song, and since I have max evasion and substitute, I can stay till the end of the battle with the same Pokemon. Otherwise, if I didn't have Soundproof, you will notice Bugsy loves to use U-turn with his Scyther, and Mean Look doesn't stop it. It's not really a problem. Once I got used to it, I was able to predict it most of the time. Next we head to the Alex Forest. Would you like to hear the song of my people? Is that a maybe? I took the egg earlier from the assistant because I plan on using it on Whitney. I never said I was gonna hatch it. Her Clefairy's double slap was annoying because if it lands once, it will break my sub and kill me on the same turn. But thanks to Hypnosis and my commentary, she slept for 5 turns. So by the time she was up, I had substitute and my evasion was almost maxed. Next is her cow. If you have a vegan friend and you're trying to get them back to the dark side, introduce them to this milk tank. I don't use bread in my meat sandwiches anymore.
Congratulations. You are a moron.
Next is Morty. This one wasn't actually bad. I was terrified he would use Curse with his Gastly or his first Hunter. Since I rely on Baton Pass, that would have made it really difficult to get my setup going, and I would have had to come up with something else. But it turns out he doesn't use it and just tries to take me down instead, so at least I don't have to worry about that. After I take down his 2 Curse users, he goes for Gengar. It only goes for Shadow Ball and he landed one of his attacks breaking my sub, but I was able to get my substitute back and Purr Song's counter had already started. One last Hunter remaining, and this one likes to go for Nightshade. Things go really well and he misses all of his attacks, and with that, we get the 4th badge. You know, I'm with the two things that lift me up whenever I'm down. A clown and an elevator. Next is Chuck. He starts with a primate that has the ability Vital Spirit, which prevents Pokemon from falling asleep. I had a whole plan ready for him, but then realized he likes to go for 6 double teams. That will show me. I know what you're thinking. Once he's done with double teams, I'm a goner. Not really. After he's done raising his evasion, more often than not, he goes for Leers. Not just that, once that fails, he tries to put me to sleep multiple times with his Poliwrath. So I say we turn the shower back on and get you back to your special place. There you go, buddy. You're done here. I get the medicine, give it to Jasmine for free, in exchange for money, then get ready to karaoke her ass to death. Jasmine has a soft heart with a team that's made of steel, but what can they do against this hell of a voice? The mumble rap of modern hip hop, the Justin Bieber of pop, the Kanye West of talent, the—
Please stop.
Okay, I'm just saying, the poor woman has no chance. By the time I was done with her Magnemites, they wished they only had one ear instead. How high is this mountain? And the 7th gym leader is a joke. I will always say it and I will always believe it. But it actually came really close with his Dugong. His seal was not a problem, and soundproof blocks his snore, so that makes him less of a threat. Piloswine loves to go for Blizzard, and with its terrible accuracy and my high evasion, he wasn't a problem either. His Dugong, however, lands every single Ice Shard. I know it's a high priority move, but for a second there, I thought it also bypasses evasion, which it doesn't. Luckily, I don't need to use Mean Look with him, so before he takes out all of my team, he goes down. Now I'll just do that. You won't bother anyone anymore. Next is Claire. This is the last trainer bell with less than 5 or 6 Pokemon. I'm glad she starts with Dragonair in this game, because their abilities, Shitskin, will make putting them to sleep even worse. Her Gyarados can go for any of its 4 moves, and they're all pretty accurate, so I died several times during the setup phase. Also, Claire is smart, which is something you won't often hear me say, because she realizes I'm a threat and goes for Kingdra next. Just as I was getting excited that she likes to go for inaccurate moves like Hydro Pump, she breaks my substitute twice. Her first Dragonair likes to go for Fire Blast, which I'm okay with. It's Dragon Pulse that gets me worried. But it goes very well, and I managed to take it down without it landing a single attack. It gets even better, and just like the first one, her second Dragonair misses all of its attacks, and then goes down to Purr Song. After singing our way to victory, we dance our troubles away before heading to Victory Road. One final redhead before the Elite Four. The rival was not a problem. I don't know why people hate on him. He turned out to be a really nice asshole. This fight was the start of a chain of terrible battles because the game decided to introduce moves that ignores evasion. Let's start with the good news. There are none. Now for the bad news. He starts with a Sneasel that has the high priority move, Quick Attack, a move that bypasses evasion, Feint Attack, and a multi-turn attacking move, Fury Swipes. But let's look at the bright side here. He always kills me with Quick and Feint Attack, so he never uses Fury Swipes. I had to rely on Bright Powder in this one because he prioritizes Quick Attack while my Mime Juniors are out. It gets worse because when I bring out Misdreavus, he starts spamming Feint Attack, so it will always land. But that's not even the problem. I was able to take him down when he slept long enough for me to use Skill Swap and Purr Song. The problem is his Magneton. It also has a move that ignores evasion, so I will never be able to use Purr Song and Mean Look without him breaking my substitute and then killing me. If you think about it, there's almost nothing that I can do here, but what if I change Misdreavus itself? There are 2 Pokemon that I had in mind, and I decided to try Smoochum first. That didn't work out, and it got even worse as he brought Magneton sooner. It was his second Pokemon, so that didn't help. My second option was Gastly. Just like Smoochum and Misdreavus, he can learn all 4 moves, so let's see how that one goes. After I take down his Sneasel for the 3rd time, the AI changes the Pokemon order to Kadabra, Hunter, Golbat, Meganium. Yes, his Magneton is last, that is perfect. I'm pretty sure it was exactly that. Now I don't need to use Mean Look with Magneton, I only need to live 1 turn to use Purr Song. I have enough Pokemon to outlive his Purr Song counter, so I just have to sacrifice a few of them and the fight should be over. I decided to check the guide for all the upcoming fights with evasion bypassing moves, and boy are we going to have some fun. There is one Elite Four member who doesn't have one. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Excuse me, sir, is this the Johto Got Talent booth? Well, second Xatu has Aerial Ace, that's the threat here. During the setup phase, I have to go for exactly 4 double teams. One more and I lose the fight. Why is that? Well, while playing around, I remembered something that I used in my Pokemon Platinum challenge, which is, there's a certain evasion stage that if I don't exceed, the AI will not always go for the accuracy bypassing move. And what I mean by that is, if I only go for say 2 or 3 double teams, and the AI has the option to go for a super effective move like Psychic, or an evasion bypassing move like Aerial Ace, he will often go for Psychic. If, however, I decided to go for 6 double teams and had my evasion maxed, that decision will always be Aerial Ace. Don't quote me on this, I didn't read it anywhere, I just noticed it after spending hours losing to the same person. Why do I do these challenges? Now, the number of double teams that I like to go for is exactly 4. It gives me a chance of not always getting hit with Aerial Ace, while being high enough to help me beat the rest of the team. You will notice I choose Gastly here, and that is again because of the Pokemon order. If I go with Misdreavus, he will bring Xatu second, but with Gastly, this time he won't bring it last, but it will be his second last Pokemon, with a chance of not always going for Aerial Ace. So what do? I use Purr's Song and wait for it to miss an attack. If that never happens, that is fine, I don't have to kill him. I will wait for him to switch out of my Purr's Song and into his last Pokemon, Executor. After I take down his Executor, his second Xatu will now be his last Pokemon. So I'm back to not having to use Mean Look, just what I need. Now even if he ends up taking down 3 of my Pokemon, he's got nowhere to go and the fight is over. Koga's next. Koga's start was a bit different, since Ariados has the ability Insomnia, so I use a different Mime Jr. here that knows Skill Swap and Trick Room. I wait for him to miss thanks to Bright Powder and then go for Trick Room. In case you didn't know what Trick Room does, it reverses the speed order for 5 turns, so as long as the opponent does not use a priority move, I should always go first. After I swap his ability, he's now vulnerable to sleeping moves. Ever seen a sleeping Ariados before? You're welcome. The rest goes as usual, and with that out of the way, are you familiar with the saying, sing like no one is listening? Well, by the time I'm done with him, no one will. He doesn't have a high priority move that can hit me, and thank God he doesn't have a move that ignores my evasion. On top of that, his last Pokemon Fortress can't attack me, and just goes for Toxic Spikes and Protect. So this one is over. Next is Bruno. Bitch, I'm about to sing your ass to sleep. Damn it, I just demonetized my video. Just kidding, YouTube doesn't know I exist. Did you know you can use Purr's Song even if the opponent used Dig? I didn't, but it turns out that I can, so I'm not complaining. One of the great things about this challenge is that the AI doesn't get a chance to heal, and that made so many things a lot easier. Now, watching this battle, it would deceivingly seem that Bruno is not a threat and that all of his Pokemon can go down easily, which is partly true, but you have no idea how dangerous this battle could have been if it weren't for his Pokemon order. You will, however, in a few minutes. Once I take down all of his team, I sacrifice a few of my Pokemon as his Machamp goes down. Next is Karin. Prepare yourself for immense resonance of great turmoil. I don't know what 3 of these words mean, but it felt good. Now, see this? This means we're going to have fun. With Karin, I once again have to limit my double teams to 4. That is, if I want to have a chance of winning. I tried both Misdreavus and Gastly, and this time, it did not help with her Pokemon order. Murkrow is always brought out too soon, so I will have to rely on limiting my evasion. In fact, I decided to go for Gastly because she brings out Murkrow as her second Pokemon. I would rather get rid of it sooner than having to wait later in the fight just to lose. For Umbreon, I have to put it to sleep on my last turn before button passing to Gastly, because I need it to remain asleep until I use Skill Swap and Purr's Song. And since sleep lasts for up to 5 turns, on average that should be enough. As for her Murkrow, it missed 2 attacks, so that was more than I needed to take it down. I finally have a chance of winning, and I only got this far a few times in my attempts. 3 of her Pokemon remaining, and I managed to take down her Houndoom, Gengar, and her Vileplume, but that one managed to take me down, and I just waited for a few turns for it to die. Please no more feint attacks and aerial aces. We make it to the champion. Hear that? Someone ordered a can of Wopass. Apparently it was me. Okay, let's hope this one goes smoothly. Son of a... Alright, I have two options here. Either go for 3 or 4 double teams, or hope he uses Aerodactyl last. I tried multiple times and he always brings it out second, so I have to go for only 4 double teams. Again, this is the number of double teams that I tested with, where the AI doesn't always go for Aerial Ace, so I get a chance of avoiding some of his Aerodactyl attacks, while being relatively safe from his other Pokemon. I hate using it, but it works, so at least the challenge is not over yet. I bring out Misdreavus and his Gyarados wakes up after I use Skill Swap. He breaks my substitute twice, but only after I use Mean Look and Purr Song. And that's when I start going for substitute anyways. Next is his Aerodactyl. Even though he didn't always go for Aerial Ace, he still managed to break my substitute multiple times. I was able to take him down, but it gets so close I reach his Charizard on 2 HP. Substitute takes 3 HP, so I won't be able to use it for 2 turns, and he attacks me on the first turn. But just when it seemed like it was over, I actually avoid all of his other attacks, so somehow we're still going. I take his Charizard down, only 3 Dragonites left. Shouldn't be that hard. Things improve a little on his first Dragonite as he misses his first few attacks. I even took a risk by extending this fight to hopefully recover more of my HP, but that backfired, as he lands his last 2 attacks, including a Thunder. I mean, give me a break. On his second Dragonite, things get even worse. He lands almost everything. At one point, I dropped down to 1 HP, but we still managed to kill him. While recording this audio, I could still remember my heart racing at this point. I'm facing his last Dragonite with no substitute, since I was too low on health the turn before. Now, if I land this Purr Song, I win. If he lands Fire Blast, it's over. I swear, every time I'm frustrated, I ask myself, why do I keep doing these challenges? And then I remember moments like this, and it gets me excited. He takes me down, but Misdreavus lived long enough to get me through. I save 10 times before I can start breathing again. Kanto was one smooth ride. Honestly, Kanto was a lot more challenging than Johto, but you guys don't care about that. Let's head on to the worst battle in this challenge. Next is Blue, and this one was a nightmare. Moves that bypass evasion are annoying, but imagine an ability that makes all moves bypass evasion. Blue's Machamp has the ability No Guard, which does exactly that. This one I can't manipulate by limiting the number of double teams, and even if I use Gastly, he brings it out as his 4th Pokemon instead of his 2nd. I gave up multiple times, and I tried almost everything. Switching Pokemon, using Smoochum, I even tried Swagger and realized there is a way to have the AI change the Pokemon order, but that still did not help. You know Bruno also had a Machamp with No Guard, but because it was last, it was never a problem. This is different. No Guard works for both the enemy and myself, so if I use Skill Swap, he will still always hit me. After getting stuck at Blue for 4 years, I realized there is one Pokemon that I can use that will help me defeat him, and that Pokemon is Leafeon. You can't get him at level 1, and if that bothers you, just assume he's level 10 or something. I'm not going to kill anyone with him, but he has 2 important moves that I need. Baton Pass so that I don't waste my evasion stats, and Worry Seed. This move changes the enemy's ability to Insomnia, so here's what I do. I start my setup normally because I need my evasion up, and then Baton Pass to Leafeon. I want his Machamp, and that is why I use Roar until I get him. I once had him on my first rotation. This one wasn't as lucky since I got Arcanine first, but still, not bad. First thing I do is use Worry Seed to get rid of that stupid ability. Honestly, what were they thinking adding it to the game? I take advantage of the fact that he likes to use Dynamic Punch on my Leafeon to get Substitute back up and then Baton Pass to my second Mime Jr. I then continue the battle normally, swap my ability, put him to sleep since he no longer has Insomnia, make sure Substitute is up again before switching to Misdreavus. Remember when I told you I tried using Swagger? Yeah, well, I have been focusing on getting to this point that I forgot to teach Misdreavus Substitute again. and no way am I resetting after getting this far, so I'll try and take them down with Swagger instead. I managed to defeat his Machamp and he didn't land a single attack. Looks like his guard was down. This was just one Pokemon and the fight is far from over. I don't have Substitute anymore and I'll try to keep this one up as long as I can. I don't do a good job at that as his Rhydon breaks it on his first turn. Now, even though Swagger is not better than Substitute, it's actually doing a good job so far. Hopefully it continues this way. One problem I face is his Pidgeot, because his ability makes it that I lose accuracy once I get him confused, but that only affects Swagger, so it could have been worse. His Arcanine doesn't attack itself in confusion once, but it misses all of its attacks, so I'm fine with that. Part of me was worried that they might kill themselves in confusion as I increased their attack with Swagger. Technically, if that happened, I would have broken the rules. That didn't happen, but honestly, I would have continued anyways. I take down his last Pokemon, Gyarados, and with that, the Kanto region is down. Alright guys, this is it. Now I could level you up like a normal person and then challenge that kid with clear signs of depression, but who needs leveling up when your voice is that terrible? Are you ready, YouTube? Final challenge. The problem with Red is the beginning of the fight. I am limited on time and I need to do several things at once that makes starting the bell difficult. See that right there? This hail has got to go. I can't do that without raising my evasion, but thanks to the hail, I only have a few turns. You see where I'm going here? So I quickly realized I need to get a 4 or 5 turn sleep in order to move forward. Because I can't use Substitute and I need my evasion as high as I can get. I managed to get 6 double teams. Next, we have to get rid of this hail. Otherwise, Misdreavus substitutes will be limited, can't have that. Luckily Sunny Day is a TM most Pokemon can learn, so I'll use it. After both of us miss our attacks for several turns, I finally get him to sleep. That took a while that Red actually healed his Pikachu. Now that hail is down and I have used Skill Swap, it's time to bring out Misdreavus. I take my soundproof ability back. His Pikachu wakes up but misses all of its attacks and goes down without breaking my sub. Finally, the battle starts. He brings out Venusaur next. He breaks my Substitute on his first turn and one time after that, but I'm glad I'm still alive. Next is Lapras. Any Lapras fans watching? I wanted to use it in this challenge, but I couldn't make it work. Anyways, out of all the moves thrown at me, he manages to attack me with Blizzard. I take it down and things go really well with his Charizard because he didn't attack me once. I swear, if I record myself while doing these battles, you will hear the weirdest noises a human has ever made. Once I got Mean Look without his Blastoise breaking my sub, I knew I won, even if he ended up landing all his attacks the next few turns. Things continue going on a high note from here on out. I take down his Blastoise, and his last Pokemon, Snorlax, has nowhere to go, so I don't need to use Mean Look. After I use Purse Song, I decided to use one last skill swap. Shout out to this one move that made all this possible. We take down his Snorlax. This is gonna take a while. We take him down, and with that, we become... What do we become? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this challenge. I'm always looking forward for your comments and feedback. Make sure you follow my channel if you haven't done so already, and see you guys next time.